This is DR Smart reviewing the book Wildseed by Octavia Butler. This is an interesting story. We start off with Doru, who is a person who has lived for thousands of years through immortality. He's has some kind of situation where he has to change bodies and skin, so he will do that either through preparation or just through when it's time to go. He just takes out anybody who's around him. So it is a pretty crazy power. He comes across our main character, for me at least, I think, is Anyanwu, who's also someone who's lived for thousands of years. But she's a shapeshifter. She's someone who is able to become man, woman. She's able to become animals. And her powers I like is her ability to kind of heal herself. So if she's poisoned, sick, she has the ability to heal. And she is a healer by choice as well. Like, she helps others and she creates things to heal and help others as well. So when Doro sees her, he sees more of a breeding person. He's a breeder, and by choice he gets people who have special powers and breeds them together to create children who have these special abilities. And he sees her and he's like, he could create basically a bunch of kids and a bunch of people who would live forever. And I think, you know, with that, it becomes a kind of trickery towards Anyanwu, because Anyanwu sees him and she, you know, does form some kind of kinship, even though she's had many husbands before. I think it was a bond of, you know what, this might be interesting, someone who lives like me. And she, you know, had some kind of feelings because she called him her husband when they came on the trip to America. And the trip to America was interesting. Even Doro says that, you know, your people came across these seas in chains, so you should be grateful. And that's kind of his main theme, is trying to downgrade her, but she is his equal. Like, she is as powerful or even powerfuler than him. And I think he sees that threatens him a lot. I think that's where a lot of the problems between them, the conflict comes from, is him knowing that she's not like the other people he can manipulate. But he does lots of things to do that. Like, he'll threaten her children, threaten people who are important to her, and threaten things if she doesn't do different things. And even at some point, I know she called him like the morning star. I think it was toward the end. And I know in the Bible, I believe that's what they call the devil. So he is someone who is like, if you're not doing something for me, then you're worthless, or you're not even someone I need to deal with. And he only kind of cares for his children, who are like the loyal ones. And it's a story of Anyanwu kind of dealing with him, dealing with the centuries changing. I thought that it was pretty cool, like the abilities to go into the water, become a dolphin, and she lived there. And she, in her later years, was like a dog, and the people like, there's a werewolf, she's the werewolf of the town. So that was interesting as well. Her becoming like a white man and having to, you know, go through the times of slavery where she had to have slaves, but she had them kind of live off the land, but she had to, you know, blend in with the time. So those are the interesting parts. Even though, you know, they get together at the end, her and Doru, I thought it was more of a story of her being able to, you know, live through these centuries, you know, seeing people die, seeing people killed, and her ability to have to move on with that. And I think that's the pretty cool part about it, is it being immortal in ways where, you know, other people aren't, and they just kind of are gone, and you having to be left dealing with that. Yeah, so even though this is not the first of the Patterson series, this is the first in the timeline of that. So you can get into this book and you won't have to worry about the other books not knowing what's going on. Some people call this a love story between Anyanwu and Doro, but I wouldn't consider that. I know that she had love for others, and that was interesting, but leave a comment for me and say how you feel about it, if you think it's a love story or not. And just giving a trigger warning for some people, there is some incest in the story. Thanks for watching. Take care.